What is going on, New York Giants fans? I just wanted to make another quick video specifically about the quarterback position, the most important position on a football team. And the New York Giants and their fans have had the luxury of not having to worry about that position for the last 15 years. Eli Manning was, of course, drafted in 2004. He's won his 2 Super Bowls. Now he's always, sometimes he'll have his head-scratching moments. But for the most part, the Giants are one of maybe 7 or 8 franchises that have not really had to worry about that franchise for over a decade. Now, of course, the Giants know that Eli Manning is aging. He's 38 years old. His play has regressed in the years, which is just, you expect that, as a quarterback gets older. Now, I'm not one of these guys that puts the full blame on Eli Manning. We all recognize, if you're an educated Giants fan, that the offensive line has not been up to snuff. But yes, Eli is not what he was, and that is why the New York Giants went out and they drafted Daniel Jones with the 6th overall selection this year, even though a lot of Giants fans we're not very happy with that, whether or not they should have taken Josh Allen, Dwayne Haskins, whatever it is. But he's here now, and there's been a lot of encouraging things about Daniel Jones. Now, leading up into the draft, we all know that, of course, Gettleman had hinted that he may take a quarterback when asked about the draft, and he came out and said, what about the Brett Favre plan when, molding a quarterback? When he was pressed on it, rather than the Pat Mahomes plan. Pat Mahomes, of course, sat behind Alex Smith for 1 year. Brett Favre was the starting quarterback over Aaron Rodgers, I believe, for 3. Now, I do not expect that to happen, especially in today's modern-day NFL, when it is so valuable. Now, Aaron Rodgers was a late first-round draft pick, so you weren't paying him a lot of money. Daniel Jones is going to be going against the cap much more than Aaron Rodgers was as the 6th overall selection. And in today's modern NFL, it is such an advantage to have that quarterback on the rookie contract, and to waste him for 2 or 3 years, I just don't see that happening. I think this will be Eli Manning's final year as the starter, regardless of how he plays, to be honest with you, unless Daniel Jones is complete trash, which I don't expect. We read some encouraging things about Daniel Jones. Mike Shula went out and said, I don't think this was yesterday, but there's a quote in an article from NewJersey.com today that he thinks Daniel Jones could start day 1. Now, I don't expect that to happen. You're paying Eli Manning, I think, $23 million. I don't expect Eli Manning to be bench week 1. He would have to play horrible in the preseason, horrible in OTAs leading up to it, and Daniel Jones would have to play out of his mind. Yesterday, Eli Manning, the report said, didn't look great, especially on the first drive. He sailed 4 of his first 5 throws, they said. He threw an interception. They said the arm strength was still there, but he looked sloppy. It's the first day of OTAs from a 15-year veteran. I'm not going to overreact. But when Pat Shurmur was asked, he didn't completely close the door on Daniel Jones starting day 1, or at least at some point this year. And I think Daniel Jones will start at some point this year if the Giants are struggling. It makes no sense not to. Just like Eli Manning started his rookie year when Kurt Warner was the quarterback. And the Giants weren't even really struggling that year, if you remember. I think they were like 5-3. They had a pretty good record, and they decided to put Eli Manning in. I think Daniel Jones will see the field this year, unless the Giants are off to a miraculous start and they're, a 5-3, 5-2 start, and then you let Eli Manning ride out. You see what you can do. But I think Jones, at some point this year, will see the field. I'd be surprised if he starts day 1. Eli Manning would have to play awful in preseason, especially paying him the money he is. But I don't expect Daniel Jones to be this clipboard quarterback for more than 1 year, if that. I definitely think Jones sees the field. If not this year, he'll be the starter going into next year. But everything you've read, Shula said he could start day 1. And they drafted him number 6 for a reason. Like I said, they believe in this kid. Gettleman and Shurmur put their faith in this kid. And Shurmur even was on quoted yesterday of saying that Jones better be ready to play week 1. Now, he didn't say as a starter. And he said that he also did say, in fairness, that Eli better be ready to win as many games as possible. So he also may be saying the right things. He probably knows Eli's going to be the starter to open the year, but he wants competition in training camp. He wants these guys to be ready to go. Eli Manning also came out, said to the media that he's in incredible shape. He's putting a ton of work in the offseason, which you like to hear. Of course, we all remember in the 2011 season when we won the Super Bowl, Eli Manning was working feverishly in that offseason. I remember he had Victor Cruz at the park. He was working hard in the offseason, and you really saw him put in the work that year. And I think Eli Manning knows, his time is about to come, and he wants to go out with a bang. So it's encouraging to know that Eli Manning hopefully is putting in that work, and he wants to compete this year, and maybe the Giants surprise some people. We'll see. But I just want to get a quick video on that. Of course, the quarterback's always a hot topic. Do I think Daniel Jones will see the field at some point this year? Yes, if the Giants are a mediocre team. But I don't expect it to be week 1. I think Eli Manning's going to be the day 1 starter, and we'll see where it goes from there. There's nobody better to learn under for Daniel Jones, even if it's a half a season. Who better to learn under? How to be a quarterback in New York, how to handle the media, how to read the playbook. I mean, Eli Manning, yes, his skills have regressed, but that guy can still read a defense, and there's nobody better to learn under. And to go back to the point about the Brett Favre plan, the 3-year plan. If they were going to do that, I think they would have drafted a guy more like a Dwayne Haskins, who I think has a higher ceiling, but he's not nearly as pro-ready as Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, of course, learned under the same coach as Eli Manning. He played for Duke for a number of years, and he played in more of a pro-style offense. I think he's much more pro-ready than a Dwayne Haskins. I think Haskins definitely would have sat under Eli for at least a year to learn the pro game. I think it would have suited him well. I think Jones, out of all the quarterbacks, you could actually argue in this year's draft that he is the most ready to start day one. I'm not saying he's the best, but is the most ready to start. So I think that specific scenario does not make sense. I expect Jones to be the starter for sure in 2020, and he probably will see the field this year, but I doubt it'll be day one. But I just want to get a video up on this, as this is a storyline at the quarterback position. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.